Hi everyone and welcome to Flosstube number 10, and today I have a fully finished piece. I have a bunch of works in progress. A project I haven't shown you in a while have come out to play, and I also have a bunch of new starts. And I thought I'd finish the video off talking a little bit about how I kind of track all of my threads, and also a little quicker review on the Lowry stand that I bought a couple of months ago. So yeah, that is the schedule for today. But yes, hi! Welcome! If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming. It warms my heart that you want to spend some time with me. If you're new here, welcome! My name is Marika. I am from Stockholm, Sweden, where I live with my boyfriend and my 2 cats. And this is my channel, mostly about cross-stitching. Today, just about cross-stitching. So yes, let's jump into it. The agenda, as I said, we have FFOs, works in progress, new starts, and finishing off with a chat section. Is that what we're going to call it today? Basically, it's going to talk about how I store and track my threads and the Lowry stand. So yes, let's jump into it. So the first is my fully finished object, which is an ornament. This is the Ginger Snap the Fox Snow Globe by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and it is part of the Snow Globe collection, where you get 1 new Snow Globe pattern each month for 4 months. So it's going to be 4 of these ornaments in the end. I've made the other one previously and I don't remember where I put it. I think in the drawer here, but I haven't looked. But yes, this is stitched on 14 count perforated paper with the charted DMC. I have then put this together, and I have a small step-by-step tutorial over on my Instagram, marika.stitches. You find it in the highlights, but it's fairly simple. I have backed the stitching and the perforated paper with some white cardstock first, just so that you don't see any pattern papers through the stitching, and also so you don't see the ribbon. Then I added the ribbon on the back side with a little bit of tape, making sure that it is all scented and nice, and finished off by just gluing on some pattern paper on the back side to give it that. I am going to make little tags and add to them so that I know when I made them. That is actually a thing that I realized. None of my Halloween stitches has some kind of I did this year. So I think I'm gonna try to put it on my flat lace on the back of the flat lace furthest back, and hopefully I will remember to move it if I pull them apart. And on the pillows I'm gonna sew on a tag that I still haven't made, but I'm gonna make a tag and sew one. But yes, that is the fully finished piece. This is just like a white satin ribbon. I bought a roll of it. It works great, and I had a white satin ribbon on the previous one, so I thought, hey, I'm gonna have the same ribbon on all of them. Now we're gonna jump over to works in progress. First, we're gonna take the SAL that I shared with you last week, where I just started. The second part is now on Tuesdays, is recommended to start with the next part. As I said before, this is the old-fashioned SAL. This is how it's gonna look, and it is a SAL that is hosted by Nicole Spohr over on her Facebook group, also over on her YouTube channel. And basically she has divided in the old-fashioned pattern by Shannon Christine Designs, remembering things here, into 6 different parts. And I thought I'd join in and actually go after the part. You can still stitch the whole thing, you can join the SAL and do that, but I really feel that doing the stitching just when the keys comes out kind of gives you a little bit more of that community and a part in that community. So that is what I'm doing. So I am stitching this with the Charted DMC, except for the white is the Blanc white instead of the B5200, because I have a full cone of it and this is awesome. So yes, and also this little piece here, I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see, can I do this? This one, that one is going to be, is supposed to be like a tealish blue, tealish blue, I think I would call it, turquoise maybe. But because I don't have that much turquoise in my decoration for Christmas, and this is also going to be in my coffee nook, I decided to take the already charted browns and just extend them up into this sign. Also down here it's going to be a cup that is going to have the same color. So yeah, that is the old-fashioned sow. The next piece comes out on Tuesday next week, so I should have an update on this next week. Then when I finish the sow, this is a whole story, I'm gonna take it right now. When I finished that sow, I was very like, I am going to do this project, this is what I want to do. However, what I kind of forgot, because I realized after a while that I think I read it somewhere, they only had the PDF for the sow, for a sow, and then they stopped the PDF. You can still get it as a pattern paper, paper pattern, but you can't get it as a PDF until like next year. And when I found that out, I got very stumped. And I've been suffering with migraines very hard this week. My antibiotics that I got for this, which by the way is healing nicely, so yay, it triggered my migraines. I have chronic migraines. I have chronic migraines to the degree that when my treatment doesn't work, I have 2 to 5 attacks a day. And this week I've been having multiple attacks every day. It's been a rough week. I can cross stitch when I have that kind of migraine. I can't do anything else. And I cannot figure out what to start. It's like, I got into this point, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I need to cross stitch because I need to do something, but what am I going to do? I have no projects, it felt like. And I decided it's Christmas month, so I brought out the little Christmas house by Artisy. This is a full covered stitch. I'm going to take you from this edge, and then we're gonna just move on over. This row is almost complete. It's like 3 columns left here. Where I was is over here. So I stitched about a page and a half, like that. The new thing, I'm doing a new thing, because when I was looking at this, and when you take it out of the frame and you look at it, you can see slight, small, like stripes where my like kind of my columns change. And what I do is I split up every page in 2. This is the large page format, and I found that if I split up every page in 2, it fits on my iPad with enough zoom that I like. So I split every page into 2, and then I stitched 1 column of, which is more than 20 stitches, less than 30. And I do the same thing for the second part. And I saw that it looks like I'm starting to get little edges. So what I done is I'm trying a new technique, or this is an old technique, this has been around. I am doing zigzags. So the way I thought it, because I haven't wanted to do zigzags because I'm using the RX Mark something RX, I think it's called, app for the iPad. Pattern Keeper isn't available on iPads, and I will never buy an Android. Or I should never say never, but I'm not an Android person. Like Apple's iPad works very good with how I work with computers, and everything else I have in my home is Apple. So therefore I'm not using Pattern Keeper. So I'm using the markup, and so far it's gonna change because they're doing an update now, but so far you have to work page by page. And doing something zigzag or something where 2 pages meet, I thought was hard. However, this zigzag is done over 3. So basically the artists have that gray area with 3 stitches that is just mirrored from the page before. So I thought it would be perfect to do the 3 zigzag here. So yeah. Also, it looks kind of cool. It looks like you have ripped a paper or something. Awesome. So that I did for a couple of days. I was doing between 1,000 and 1,500 stitches a day because that was all I could do. I've been sitting in the sofa for a week. That happens when I get this bad migraines. When I go up and move around, I get really bad aura symptoms, and in my case I start shaking, and the cross stitch helps me not to shake, but as soon as I go out of it I can start shaking again. So this is really good to keep me sane. But yes, that was my last whip, sort of. I have my new start. My new start is gonna be a work in progress because it's a lot, but individually I have 5 finishes, or yeah, 5 finishes. So after a couple of days, I got a little bit more brain space, and I'm like, I want to make ornaments. I want to make ornaments as gifts. Let's see if I can find a pattern that has a lot of smalls. So I went and looked at like Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. They have a lot of samplers that kind of is made up of smalls, and I kind of, is this something I want to do? I went to Soda Stitch to see if there were any kind of samplers or small projects. And then I went to my handy dandy World of Cross Stitching magazine app, and I found they have put out the Cross Stitch Favorite Christmas 2022 edition, and I found this calendar, advent calendar. So it's 24 of the basically same size things. However, I'm not making it as a calendar, so I have replaced the numbers, and so far I have finished 5 of them. So we're gonna go through them, but these are the 5. So I'm gonna do 2 and 3 because it fits better in the screen. So here you go. Woo! Little blown out. Here we go. Is this better? I think this is better. So this is the first one. It is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and here was supposed to be number 1. And what I did, I just made like this little ornament, hanging ornament to match with the star. He already held out his hand like he was holding something, so I decided that that would be perfect for that ornament. The second ornament is these cute little gloves. I'm trying to see the screen so I can point, but yes, little gloves, and the number was supposed to be here, so I made like a little string of lights that were moving upward, like a little pile of string of lights. I don't know if it's perfect, but it works, kind of works. So yeah. Then we have number 3. Number 3 is these baubles. The number 3 was up here, so I just made this bauble, the blue bauble, but in the green threads. So yeah, let's see if that, like that. Number 4 is this cute little angel. It's the cutest little angel, and I did actually just remove the number because she already had a white space on the other side, so it kind of made it a little bit more even. And number 5 I actually finished today before I started recording this, and that is this little package I replaced with for number 5. So I took this package here and then I just made it bigger. And yeah, I am planning to make at least some of them into little hanging pillows. So basically like my Halloween pillows that I have, but at the top I will add a little ribbon, probably the same kind of ribbon that I have on the other ornament that I showed you, the fully finished piece. So that is the plan, and this fabric is huge because there are 24 of them, and I'm gonna make all of them, I think. I've done 5 so far. Here's the rest of that fabric, and then I have enough for 2 more rows. So yeah, that is, it's been super fun. It's been super fun. So those are the projects I've been working on this week. So I said I had a little chat with you. So first we're going to talk about the lower stand. I love it. The lower stand really have made a difference in how I stitch. I can move around a little bit more, my back doesn't complain as much, and I don't have to sit in a fixed position, so I really love it. Also, it holds my stitching, so it's quite easy to do it double-handed. When I was talking about it last time, a few notes about it. I have the corner clamp because that works better with a Q-snap than the side clamp. Well, I had the side clamp too, but a thing to think about when you put the corner clamp, for me, I have the clamp towards my left, which also means that this will kind of hide the upper left corner. So when I started with this project, because I started at the top, I had to do a couple of stitches up here first, there, up there first, to kind of be able to move it. The other thing is I'm teaching myself to stitch with my left hand underneath and my right hand on the top, which is opposite what I usually do when I have like the pattern over in the left side, because stitching with the left hand on top around this little thing is kind of hard. But otherwise, it's really good. One thing I can say, after a couple of weeks, it started to whine a lot. So it's metal on metal, and it started to whine. And this week I actually went online and I found that you can use sewing machine oil. You don't want to use like W40 or something like that, because it's a little bit sticky and it can pick up the fabric dust and kind of get like dirty. So instead I used sewing machine oil. I have a sewing machine. It usually comes in like teeny tiny things also. And what I did was I added some around the little, I don't know if you can see, this little piece here. I added around that one, the joint or the screw. And I also added some inside. One thing I can say, the one I stick this on is a little bit sticky right now, so I have to be a little bit careful when I get in and out of the sofa. However, I have a tendency to get that one stuck in my back, so being a little bit careful around it is just a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, lower stand. Really like it. However, I have seen the stand for the quantum frames, the new stand that they have given up that you can put on like a table or similar, and I have a windowsill over here that is in stone, so I could put it there. So I might be treating myself to something like that next year somewhere. I might, because I would like to have a quantum frame for my full coverage. Might be better. We'll see. We'll see how that will turn out money-wise and stuff. Yeah. And that was all about the Lowry stand. Now I'm going to talk about how I keep track on my stash, because this was something I actually did yesterday, and that is why I have one less of those little ornaments. I do about 2 of those ornaments a day, but yesterday I took a big chunk of time and I updated my number sheet. So it's basically like an Excel sheet, but numbers is the Apple version. I have mine in the cloud, in iCloud so that I can access it from my phone, from my iPad, and from my computer, which means also that when I'm out shopping, I can just bring it up on my phone. As long as I have data on my phone, which I always has, I can bring it up on my phone, and then I can just look, what am I missing? I can pick up those extra threads. I have also a wish list thing, so whenever I know that I want to stash up for a specific pattern that have a little bit more of those threads, I can add it to the wish list, so whenever I'm out and about and I find threads, I can purchase them. And as I said before, threads in Sweden are fairly expensive. We pay, I think the last number I saw in store, like in-person store, not locally, it was 26 SEK, which is somewhere between $2.50 to $3. So yeah, kind of depending on exchange rates and stuff. So yeah, it's expensive here. So I usually buy my threads whenever I am in the US. I do buy threads for a couple of $100 from like Michael's, Joann's, places like that, because they're so much cheaper there. And to do that, I need to have that fixed, and I'm heading over to the US later this year, so I decided to kind of update my sheet. So I thought I'd show you my sheet. It is super simple. It looks like this. Haha. See, we can, no, it's gonna be a little bit. This is how it looks. I have one here, which is all the DMC numbers. I have stash. Right now I have stash, skeins, and total and wish list. And I haven't actually added the stash, the bobbin stash. And the reason for that is that bobbins can be half full. Now I know I have some colors that I actually have all of the skeins. I 156, for example, the color 156, I have 12 bobbins of, because when I started to bobbinate, sorry, I have a hair in my eye. When I started to bobbinate, I bobbinated all my threads. And then as time has gone on, I have kind of changed how I treat my bobbins. So nowadays I just bobbinate whenever a bobbin runs out. So when it runs out, I go to my skein stash, pick out the color, and add it to my bobbin. And that is when I'm supposed to be pulling that thread out of my list, so that I know to buy a new thread. I hadn't done that. Also, there were other things I wanted to do. For example, I have one of the 7 Sins ladies, Heaven and Earth Designs patterns, that I'm halfway through. And right now, I just don't feel like stitching that. I'm not sure when I'm gonna pick it up. So I have decided to just pull all of those bobbins back into my main stash, so that I don't have to also pick that out when I'm go looking for colors. So that was I did yesterday. I also had a big bag of threads that were came with kitting her up, and I also added those into my skein stash, into the proper bags. And yeah, so I have, let's see, I can tell you, I have, there we go, 557 skeins of thread, and I don't have all the DMCs in skeins. That was something I realized when I did this, is that I'm missing a bunch of skeins. So I'm going to, at a minimum, pick up all the skeins that I'm missing. I most likely am going to pull the whole set, see if I can get a whole set purchased. I do want a Kona black, because with all of the Halloween stitching I've been doing, I've been going through black like crazy, and the regular 310 I do love. I love the regular black 310. I wanted to say that I think I might have said something in one of my videos or so, but when I was talking about the E310 that I really didn't like and that was going to replace with the Ito yarn, the E310 is a metallic. It is the Effects 310. It's supposed to be like a metallic, but it's more like plastic, black plastic that doesn't have that metallic shine. It more have a plastic shine. And I really didn't like how it's stitched up in the project that I'm working on, and that is why I purchased the Ito thread. But yes, so yesterday I went through all of my skeins. The way I am stashing my skeins, I have these plastic bags that are like Ziploc bags that are this big. They are the same Ziploc bags that I use for my fabric. So this is the size. I actually had one laying on the table next to me. So this is the size of the plastic bags, and they're perfect because they're just slightly longer than what a DMC skein are. And then I have sorted my threads in groupings, and because I don't have one bag per hundreds or something, because if you look at you have 1 to 55, I think 35, 1 to 35, which are the newest set. They are not that many. Then between 100 to 300, 200, something like that. It's not a lot of colors. The sheets that I have all of the different colors that exists, and some of the colors, some of the 100 range actually don't have that many in them. But when we come up to like 3,700s and 3,800s, it's starting to get a lot more skeins. The 3,800s I actually have divided in 2 bags. The 3,800 up to 50 and over 50. They're still really full, so I need to change that. I'm looking for like a drawer section. I know that there is an IKEA drawer section where you can get 4 different wooden or 6 wooden boxes that are the same size. They come in 2 different versions. I think I want to pick that out, but I want to paint it because I want to, or at least lacquer it, because I don't want the thread to get stuck in the wood. I don't know how much wood feeling. I don't like raw wood. The feeling of raw wood isn't something I really like. It's a texture thing. So most likely need to lacquer it or something to put the thread into the drawers. Might be picking 2 of those up to store the threads in, because these bags are starting to get full. It's hard to get the thread out and such. But yeah, that is how. So I have this big plastic box where I put all of those, all of the bags. That is how I stash them. And then as I said previously, I then have these plastic boxes, like this little one I have for like small kits. I think I have 2 projects in this, but these colors that we have here in these 3 are the colors for my little ornaments. And then my stash is in boxes like these. And this is actually the stash box for the Christmas house. So I have a separate stash box for that, so it's easy to pull the threads. But yes, that was all for today. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please thumbs it up. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Down below you find all the details, links and stuff to everything I talked about today. And if you have any questions, just comment down below. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast making this video, and I will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Central European time. Bye!